What's up, everyone? Eli here, back after a pretty long time, I think 2 weeks or so. I just have a collection update video for you. Got a bunch of stuff in from my buddy that I purchased yet again. This is like the second or third time I've bought some shit from him. And once again, kind of like the last video, I think it was the last video, really good shit. A bunch of classics that I had been needing in my collection for years and years, and just stuff I've been looking for in general. Louie's chewing his fucking toy in the background, as you can hear. And also in the background, we have the new Alice in Chains album playing. I think it's my second listen. It's pretty good, actually. I'm actually pretty impressed. I think this might be the best album post, Layne Staley's death. So, considering everything the band has been through and all that shit, it's pretty fucking good. So anyways, get on to the music here. We'll start with a couple freebies that he threw in for me. These are pretty cool. I haven't listened to them yet, but they are, I guess they are in the sense of the word bootlegs, but I did some research on this guy, and although they are bootlegs, he did make a profit off of these. I can't remember which. He either sold them for exactly what they costed him to make, or he gave them away. One of the two, but he did not make a penny off of these. And he probably didn't make very many either, but anyway, first one, got some live Metallica, Iron Fist, and The Hordes from Hell, live at Ruthie's Inn, San Francisco, 1985. He calls his, I guess he'd call it a label, Obscurations in the Witch House, which is a fucking cool name. Yeah, man, he did a good job on the layout. I mean, it's just Xeroxed stuff, but still, it's pretty fucking cool. Next, we have a Sodom double disc. There we go. The sin of Sodom is the sign of evil. There you go. Glare, like always. Someday I'm gonna work on my lighting. I swear. Also, I'm probably gonna record another video tomorrow. I probably won't post it until next week or whatever, but I'm gonna make some changes to my channel here, not aesthetically or anything, but I'm gonna change the background. I'm gonna film it somewhere else or something. I just feel like I need to change, different backdrop or something. And lighting would be my next step, my next goal. Better lighting, definitely. And then maybe one day, maybe some minor editing, maybe the kind of editing that a fucking 10-year-old could do, something like that. Anyways, the CD here, this is CDs. It's got the Witching Metal demo from '83. Most of you probably are familiar with that. Then we got Live in Holland in '88, and some cover tracks. Cool stuff. The third is Pentagram, 5 Bad Points of My Own. This is just some live shit between '83 and '93, which is cool. See, they're just CDRs, nothing special about the actual CD. So yeah, there you have it. Those are cool to, like I said, I haven't listened to them, but I'm looking forward to it. Alright, now we'll move on to the stuff that I actually purchased from him. We got the first one, Mortician Zombie Apocalypse. This is an EP from, I don't remember when, but this is from back when they were signed to Relapse Records. I think it's from like '98. The back cover is really dark. I couldn't really find the year on it. But anyways, EP. There's really no reviewing a Mortician album. But as simple as that may sound, they are definitely one of my all-time favorite bands. They're kind of one of those bands where I could never get tired of. I mean, even the fact that like there's more like horror movie intros than actual music, like that doesn't bother me. It's awesome. They pull it together perfectly. Next we have, I'm a big Australian metal fan, and we have one of my favorite Australian bands, Gospel of the Horns, with Ceremonial Conjuration. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is the most recent thing they put out. It's an EP. Came out on Invictus Productions. There's the back. Nothing, not too much on the inside. I mean, I don't know how much you care. But yeah, Gospel of the Horns, man. Great veteran black thrash from Australia. Done in the Australian style. Couldn't ask for any more than that. Now we have a compilation from an old death metal band. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe out of Ohio, probably the Cleveland area. Blood of Christ, this is called. There you go. So this is demos. 92, it said somewhere. 91 through 93, I think. Anyways, sorry, pretty sure. There we go. It says right on the side. Yeah, 91 to 93. Yeah. I won't go into a whole long thing about describing them, but it's, you know, it's early 90s death metal, and it's good. Look into that one. I'd actually been wanting to get the... I mean, they don't have a lot of material, but I've been wanting to get some for a while, so that's perfect. Next, here's a classic. This is an all-time classic from Full Moon Productions. Hades, Again Shall Be. This is the second Hades... Oh, sorry, this is the debut Hades album. What can you say about Hades, man? Top tier, you know, early Norwegian death metal. This is an all-time classic if you like Norwegian did I say death metal? Norwegian black metal. If you like, you know, say you haven't ventured real deep into it, you know, maybe you like Immortal, Burzum, you know, Mayhem, whatever, check out Hades, you know, if you haven't gone deep enough. Hades is your next step, and they're definitely worth your time. Now we have the debut album from Gorefest, Mind Lost. Gorefest death metal out of the Netherlands, right? Pretty sure Netherlands. Correct me if I'm wrong. I often am. I thought this was the debut, 93. That sounds kind of late. Pretty sure Mind Lost is their debut, though. I just don't remember it coming out so late. Anyways, yeah, I've always loved Gorefest. Even some of their later stuff is really good. Like I think it was their final album, if I remember correctly. La Muerta, I think it's called. That's a fucking killer album. Here's another band I've wanted some stuff from them for a long, long time. Just for some fucking reason never had any, but this band is killer. One of the more underrated bands from the US. They're not around anymore and have not been for a long time, but we got Lucifer's Hammer, US, you know, classic US death black metal. There we go. This is from 97. This is a full length. Once again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is their first and only full length. But I can't be 100% on that. But from what I remember, it is. Just really good stuff, man. They have other stuff I want to get to. That's actually not my favorite material of theirs, but it's still very good. Here's another fucking banger and classic that I've wanted for a long time. In fact, out of this whole stack, this might be the one I'm happiest to finally have. We have Ungod, Circle of the Seven Infernal Pacts. Classic German black metal. German black metal at its best, matter of fact. Just really, really fucking good stuff. If you're into black metal and you haven't heard Ungod, definitely start here, but don't stop here. Here's another kind of minor classic that has been kind of making the rounds lately, not just like now, but within the last 5-10 years. They've been kind of making a, you know, there's been a resurgence in interest in some bands, and this one would be on that list as well. We have Deteriorate. Jail America. It's a promo, obviously. Fuck, I can't remember where Deteriorate are from. They're somewhere in the Midwest, but Illinois maybe. But there's no point in me sitting here and fucking guessing about it. Just really, really dirty, rough, you know, brutal death metal from the, you know, early '90s. This came out in '93. Really, really, really good stuff. Yeah. There was something else I was going to say about them, but I didn't really remember. Jack Gannon, I think his name is, one of the main guys in this band. Vocals, can't remember if he plays guitar. He went on to do a project called Tomb, which is just like black metal with just a bunch of noise elements and stuff. not really my cup of tea, but, you know, interesting, interesting in their own right. Thought it was Jack. I thought his name was Jack Gannon. Could have sworn that was his name, but I don't fucking see him listed in here. To tell I don't always do my homework. Man. Someone's gonna have to help me here. I could have sworn his name was Jack Gannon. Maybe he didn't play on this album. I don't know, man. Alright, I'm moving on. I feel let down with that thing I just said. Alright. Here's another cool Dutch band, death metal band, Pinnacle. I've never owned anything from them. For some stupid fucking reason. I've wanted to for a long time. Iron Pegasus Records. This one's called Under the Black Cross. I do not remember where this sits in their discography, but it doesn't really matter because everything they've done that I've heard is awesome. And I've heard most of their, if not all of their stuff. It's great classic Dutch sound, really. I mean, if you like Asphyx and stuff like that, I mean, come on. One of my favorite bands here as well. At times very underrated, I always thought. We got Vital Remains, Horrors of Hell. This is a compilation of some of their early demos. We got Black Mass, 7-inch. We got Excruciating Pain demo and Reduced to Ashes demo. All these ranging from 89 to 91. Yeah, I love Vital Remains, man. I can't say the state that they're in now is very hopeful, but, you know, I'm glad Tony's, you know, keeping on, but, and if this picture is pretty cool. It looks like they are wearing corpse paint, at least from what I can see. Most of their faces are kind of obscured by darkness, but I can see one guy, and he definitely looks like he has corpse paint on. I remember seeing photos of Tony Lazzaro years ago wearing corpse paint. So, I mean, at some point in their early, you know, part of Vital Remains, they wore corpse paint and stuff, so pretty cool. Not that that matters, I'm just a little piece of history. Now we have a band that, you know, I bought their new album, and I don't slag on this band too much, although I haven't really found anything they've done in the last 10 plus years all that interesting. You know, some tracks here and there, but I really do love their old stuff. Back when they just played black metal. And that would be Behemoth, The Return of the Northern Moon. This is a demo. This is one of their early demos. Obviously, this is a repress. I think Witching Hour did this, and they do some good work, man. I've never owned a Witching Hour release, but I mean, everything I've seen is actually, despite what you hear about them, you know, the dude does do good work. Black metal against all trendies. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right, yeah, man. Like I said, I fucking love the early Behemoth. Now we have, classic Doom Death. I've never owned anything from this band, to be honest. I've always wanted to, so here we go. This is in pretty rough condition, but it plays, and that's what matters. Rune Magic, Moon of the Chaos Eclipse. Like I said, Rune Magic are a Doom Death band. I have never heard them, or I mean, I've heard them a lot, but I've never owned anything from them, so I'm real happy to have that finally. Alright, we have another band that I had never heard, and I've only really heard of, like, in the last couple months. I think they're from Norway. Century Media put this out, but a more obscure label put out their first album. I can't remember if it was Head Not Found or something like that. But we got Twin Obscenity, their second full-length, For Blood, Honor, and Soil. Black Death band. And to be honest, I haven't heard this album. I haven't even heard this band yet. I heard of them recently and had the opportunity to pick this up, and I did. So I don't really have much to say about it just yet. Next, we got one of my favorite black thrash bands. Absolutely one of my favorites. Disaster from Germany. This one is The Arts of Destruction. This is not their most recent album, but it's the one from before that. Back in 2012. Killer album, absolutely. I think this album is as good as some of their earlier stuff, and maybe even better than some. Cool CD, by the way. I like what they did there. Yeah, this band has always fucking slayed, and they still do. Here's another classic that you know, every black metal fan's collection should have. Just a classic demo. Anno Domini from Tormentor out of Hungary. You'll know, you might well know Tormentor through their vocalist Attila, going on to join Mayhem years later. And yeah, I mean, it's good stuff. Very much influenced by, you know, like the early German thrash metal, but they definitely had their own thing, and they were definitely, you know, breaking new ground with the early material that they did. Here's another one that I definitely had to have for my collection. We got the split between Dimmu Borgir and Old Man's Child. This is obviously, it's not the good cover. I can't remember who put out. I think it's the original, but the original has a way better cover than this. I mean, it doesn't take much to beat that, but the original cover's pretty cool. But, you know, it's the music that counts most. For Dimmu Borgir, you got their Devil's Path EP, and for Old Man's Child, you have In the Shades of Life, which is their debut demo, I believe. I don't know if it's a demo or an EP. I think it's a demo, but it's their first recording, if I'm remembering that correctly. Next, we have another album from Gospel of the Horns, Eve of the Conqueror. I believe this is an EP. Yeah, EP from Invictus back in, I don't remember, I think it was the early 2000s, but yeah, absolutely killer. Everything they've done is worth owning, if you want to know the truth. If you like black thrash, or if you like, you know, really good Australian metal, Gospel of the Horns, man. This one right here, this is the only At the Gates album I've never owned, so I finally own it, and I've always really liked this one, to be honest. Always really liked it. With Fear I Kiss the Burning Darkness. Yes, alright. Raped by the Light of Christ, man, just, it's worth, the admission price is worth just for that song. This is their 93 full-length, 2001 repress. It's their second album. I don't know if I said that or not. But here's a band I like that, and I have never heard this album. A lot of people know Disastrous Murmur for their full-length Rhapsodies in Red. This is like their third full-length or something like that. It's called And Hungry Are the Lost. Kind of depraved, sadistic death metal out of Austria. Like I said, everyone knows Rhapsodies of Red, but I've never heard anyone talk about this album or any of their other albums, to be honest. So it should be cool. I can't see it being terrible, but I'll let you know, I guess, if I can remember to. Here's another album that you know, every self-respecting, you know, black metal fan should have in their collection. Although I mean, I wouldn't call this full-on black metal by any means. It's just I mean, this band comes from that era, especially in Brazil, when, you know, black metal and death metal and thrash just all kind of became one. And I'm talking about Sex Trash, their debut full-length Sexual Carnage. Cogumelo Records. This isn't an original, of course, but still cool to have. It doesn't matter which edition, but this is I don't know. It's a Cogumelo repress. I don't know what year it came out in. This is probably top 3 CDs in this stack that I was excited about. Easily top 3, because I fucking love this band. I don't have a lot by them, but you know, I'm just getting what I can from them slowly. We got Pennsylvania's Crucifier, the 9th year. Holy fuck, man! Crucifier is a kind of a doom death black metal type band, started by Kaz Grant. You may know him best. If you don't know him from this band, you'll know him from Grand Belial's Key. He was in Grand Belial's Key for their first full length, and basically most of the good or the best Grand Belial's Key stuff he either wrote or played on, or both, drums and vocals. So Crucifier is basically his band that he had, that he was in before he joined Grand Belial's Key. He's since left Grand Belial's Key, but he still has Crucifier going strong, so that's fucking cool. Just really fucking good death metal that would be better known, I think, had he like consistently put material out, because he really doesn't. He only kind of puts material out very slowly. But yeah, that doesn't really matter. It's just amazing stuff. If you like incantation and stuff like that, this is for you. I mean, it's very, very much East Coast, raw, cavernous, evil as fuck death metal. If you like even newer stuff like Imprecation, or not Imprecation, but Blaspherian, I mean, that's right up your alley right there. Here's one of the others that I was just fucking chomping at the bit to own. Glad to finally own this, because this is one of my favorite splits of all time. So we have the Stargazer and Invocation split. Stargazer are a black death metal band out of Australia. Invocation are basically a death metal band out of Australia. Stargazer have been going strong since this split. Invocation, however, never did anything except for this. One of the members, or maybe a few of the members, I can't remember, but there is a tie with Portal. I don't remember what. I don't remember exactly what. Anyway, I showed you the Stargazer cover. This is the Invocation cover. There's the CD. This is it's just fucking awesome, man. That's all I can say. Like I said, one of the best splits I've ever heard. And coincidentally, here's another split. We got the Graveworm Huntress split, Grim Horizons. I'd never heard this, so I'm glad to have that. Wintress, I've never heard Wintress, but if I remember correctly, they're a Pennsylvania band, like a doom death band or something like that. So yeah, happy to have that. I've talked about Graveworm here, at length, several times. But I guess I'll just say a little bit about them. They're Black Death, kind of Black Death doom band that have been around since the early 90s here in the U.S. And, he's put out, dozens of releases at this point, anything from full lengths to EPs, demos, splits, the whole 9 yards. And yeah, still going strong. This is a promo, but I'm still happy to have it. We got Extermination Revelry by Drawn and Quartered. Fucking legendary, classic death metal out of Seattle. If you're a big death metal fan and you haven't heard Drawn and Quartered, I can't think of many bands that are as underrated as them, so you would need to go check them out instantly. After the video, of course. Next we have a Czech Black Death band. I've always wanted something from them as well, and I just never have. We have Avenger. I think this is their first album, with the Shadows of the Damned. So I'm really working on that lighting, the glare and shit. I love this, what it says under. Jesus Christ is dead. Kill him in yourself. Yes, do it. Anyways, yeah, great stuff. I've always liked this band a lot. Black death metal, Czech Republic. Another band that I kind of, I was following them when they were, still a thing, and just never managed to get anything from them. One of the cooler, in my opinion, this is one of the cooler death metal bands, kind of our time right now. Really, I mean, they had like two or three albums. I don't remember where this falls in their discography, but man, this band is fucking awesome. Finnish death metal band Slugathor with Circle of Death. Just very catchy, very heavy and punchy death metal. Extremely catchy, well written. Everything about this band is fucking awesome. I can't stress the catchy part enough, to be honest. Next we got a double disc album from, well, it's not a double disc album, double disc release from Greek black metal band Ner Maderon, at least that's how I've always said it. called Awaken in Oblivion. This is basically a double disc. The first 2 albums, I believe, are on here. Up from the Ashes and Skodos Anon. I've always really liked this band. Have some stuff from them, but I didn't have these 2 albums, so that's perfect. Anyway, I don't need to show you the other CD, but there's 2 CDs in there. Really good to have that. I'm a big, I think I've said it before, but I'm a big Greek black metal fan. So that's them being one of the better Greek black metal bands. I needed to have that, as much stuff as I can get from them. Last but not least, we have a band I've heard but never owned anything from them either, kind of like a lot of that stuff. Japanese death metal band Transgressor. They've been around since at least the early 90s. I don't know if they're still going, but this is a compilation basically of I don't know, it's just a compilation, but yeah, just good Japanese death metal. What can I say? Look into them. They have a full length that I have heard quite a few times. I can't remember the name, but so I haven't heard any of the stuff that's on here. So excited for that. Anyways, that covers that whole order. I still have a little bit more stuff to show from other orders that I've gotten since then. But yeah, I really want to get back on my, showing my collection videos. So hopefully I can get back to that soon. Yeah, if I stop buying stuff so often. I'm working on slowing this shit down. But anyway, Saturday night, I think. I have a couple days off work, so I'm just fucking being lazy as shit. Hopefully I'll record a couple of videos. Hope you guys are having a good weekend. If you watch this and it's still the weekend. Yeah, what else can I say? Thanks for stopping by. Cheers. Talk soon.